written, which means that the true Kabbalah can only be given verbally due to correct pronunciation of these words of power. It is never written. When this knowledge of such magnitude came to be known across the land, two more Kabbalahs were introduced, the first being the Abjad, the Arabic Kabbalah, then came the Kabbalah of Canon, or the Grimoires, of which the latter can be easily downloaded from the internet, while the former has remained hidden. Imagine how many people downloaded a copy of the much more common Kabbalist Grimoires when Madonna proclaimed she was studying Kabbalah. 57 PAGE. Reason 40 NYHVH, known H also as the Tetract or Des Tetragrammato, N as the name E Judaism, and M Christianity, revere there as Father. Tetra means 4. Forfat. There's reason 41 T chart KN Reath is known as Shemhampho Haresh Servath from Ives Antiquity als Huff not V very leg gibble. See the name Condios D on the right side o the E of WHEL. In Ma Latin coeni antris th refer to G as dio hey God os, however he I but one o of the is out many Ma names construct in S had ancient cab and BBALAH. Man of ni th names are reported to be he zed and neffable meaning that o one should never utter them verbally rm should on contemput nlymplate in their mind. Ut hem uttering th off the mouth as zar to be hair made as because the flesh is impure sin es sutales kept the pure project blesser beparated fro the true origin on e of these banes since whfngs hen ut ttered they are enlisted to a d at ppear at some point, homie however wh they are hen or rive one mu good must th themselves to deal with so such st arrange overwhelming whelming foe forces. 58 PAGE. This particular Kabbalah, which we will call the written Kabbalah of Cain, was known through circles as the Lesser Keys. This work was eventually identified as a text of dark magic responsible for uniting man with horrid beings from the lower dimensions. This did not stop its reproduction, just as books like the Necronomicon, the Book of Shadows, and the 6th and 7th books of Moses are easily available, and many have become possessed reading books such as Sefer Raziel, Sefer Yeziah, and Sefer Hashmoth, which are still in mainstream production as people are subtly coerced to lend an open ear to the dangerous degenerating art of Goetia, the evoking of departed souls and lesser jinn. Reason 42 various Kabbalahs were formed as many descended the inverted tree of life, which as can be seen here led to heavy serpent and beast worship. It is unmistakably obvious that this has gone beyond some mere hobby for wise men. This has become an art that has corrupted minds and made men into the pawns of spooks. Let us keep this in mind. If you are a powerful high-vibration being and someone from Earth is summoning you, it's obvious you have no time to fool with the Earthlings to do their selfish bidding, which generally involves controlling people and making money. Being very different, the lower forms, 59 PAGE, have something to gain by making pacts and acquaintances with humans because they are on lower dimensions, some of whom have forfeited their chance of ascending. What a loss they have lava to drink. To sum up Kabbalah for the reader, I will give this explanation. The original oral Kabbalah consists of only one word that masters every spirit energy on this dimension. The entire body was put into formulation to pronounce this word. The written Kabbalahs have been proven to a degree to teach the Magas how to control droves of elementals that can be bent to the will of the Magas. However, one should keep in mind that the use of these beings to gain advantage in everyday life rather than doing it naturally always spells trouble. It has been documented several times that these beings are very different from humans. Being lower life forms, they have only one ability, thus their name elemental, meaning simple or base. A controller of one element. They are referred to as sylphs, undines, gnomes, and salamanders, which correspond to water, air, earth and fire. It is known that they often play tricks on the Magas, hiding things, and breaking things, which becomes a can of worms that the practitioner wishes they had never opened. Those are the normal experiences. Deeper forms of this practice have led to haunting, unknown strangulations and death, as the other world will continue to entreat the Magas, driving him or her mad, especially in Goetia, where the departed souls drain the life force from anything alive in the vicinity when evoked, especially the Magas. Reason 43. A classic depiction of a magician who has evoked too many elementals. The art of magic itself is very real. Dark magic is dangerous and leads to encounters that can stunt the seeker's growth. Magicians have been known to also create two-part beings known as golem to do their biddings. There is now concern in certain esoteric circles in regards to golem who are said to be revolting because they too are evolving and want to be free. Stories such as Solomon controlling jinn has fascinated many into believing that it is man's right to control the jinn. The attitude of seeking to master something you do not understand will always lead to trouble. There is generally no trial and error or learning curve in magic. One mistake can lead to a lifetime of problems. 60 PAGE. That one word mentioned above and its correct pronunciation was lost because of abuse and was before then only known by the high priest who learned it from the high priest before him. The name was said to be pronounced only once a year during ceremony. The name itself when pronounced responded instantly with no delay, thus the name was alive and not dead like the many slow-responding idol gods of the time. Although I believe the true name was removed long before then, the holy name possessed by the Hebrews was recorded as lost during the time the Romans sacked the Temple of Jerusalem. It is said in legend that the high priest was caught up by a fiery chariot into the sky just so the name could not fall into the hands of the profane. The Arabs protected their secret name so tightly that few know the Abjad Arab Kabbalah even existed. The Shriners, Aleppo and various secret societies for spiritual adepts studied under the Arabs. Reason 44. Westerners went to Arabia to learn the esoteric wisdom of the Arabs. When they returned to America they used what they learned to gain control of the whole country. As can be seen in this rare book, they own all things of importance like the railroads. Even Forbes' grandfather is in this book. The written Kabbalah of Cain was purported to be the path of recovering the original true name of the lesser god after you descended the tree of life like a serpent and met the pantheon of 61 PAGE. Hosts of whose names and position could be deciphered by working through combinations and equations. It is safe to say many became lost and possessed as they attempted to make brutes as allies. It's claimed that one could arrive at the original name through contemplation of 72 letters and numbers has remained unverifiable. In holy languages the letters also double for the numbers. In the end many became insane moving the letters and numbers around and bringing forth energies untold. The art itself gave birth to what we know now as sorcery, the control key being the tetragrammaton, a four-sided cubic diamond also known as the tetractys made of letters and numbers with 18 functions or lucifers, ciphers. Kabbalah is a life study, so explaining any more of Kabbalah here would only be confusing for the reader, but not for me, and I will tell you just as you see the word tetra meaning 4 grams, and tons. These units of spirit energies can overwhelm the mind, and if the person is not strong their senses leave them forever and the body becomes the host of 4 counterparts. They have named this state of insanity the Jerusalem syndrome. Reason 45. This is the symbol of the Magus. Once he is joined with the 4 animal traits he will no longer be the ally of normal men, he feels elated over his fellows. The deepest and darkest part of spiritual knowledge lied within the art of Goetia and necromancy. Apparently this ancient knowledge from Sumeria eventually spread to the Western schools of thought, creating multiple offshoots. The Necronomicon, the Sumerian spell book of Mudjik-Ra, was the initiated doctrine of dark occults. Few initiates knew this. What I find even more interesting is Mudjik had 3 main enemies. One was Tiamat. Tiamat was the old name for Earth before Earth had its last encounter with Nibiru, also called Planet X. One of its orbiting moons slammed into what is now Earth but was then Tiamat. This indicates even more that a war took place, 62 PAGE. In the past, involving these invaders who had some issue with the planet we now call Earth. Even known powerful adepts like Eliphaz Levi, who many believe along with himself was the thrice-born Hermes Thoth in his last incarnation, advised to stay away from Goetia, and this comes from a man who practiced almost all forms of dark magic. He purported that this was the worst and had extreme negative results that were far-reaching, extending into the spirit planes of past and future. Reason 46. This is the seal of the Necronomicon of Mudjuk, the sworn enemy of man. If you see it, head the other way. Necromancers are lower life forms looking to gain